All right, guys, welcome back to another market update video. So in this video, um, we'll talk about the current condition of the market. We'll also recap what we talked about the previous session as well in the previous video, and then we look at what we can expect the market to do from here on. First, actually, let us look at the global markets. Global markets first. So if we look at Dow Jones, right? Let's look at what is going on in Dow Jones. So if you see the monthly chart of Dow Jones, it actually held the monthly EMA and also the last monthly demand. Um, you can say the last monthly, the COVID high basically, and then it went up, right? Now it's been consolidating for a good 5 to 6 months. Sorry. And here, if you see, the first breakout of this base has failed, but it went up. Has made some sort of a pullback here, and now it's trying to go up again. So Dow looks extremely bullish here. Obviously, it will be bullish only when all this is taken out, or you can look at buying the index at some lower level if it sets up. But things look fairly good in Dow Jones. Obviously, it can fail again. I'm not saying that it will go up, but things look good here, right? So let's look at for Dow Jones. If I for US 30, if I tell you the level which is important, it is actually this demand. So, so this low right here, which is around 33,500, this is the most important level for US 30. If this breaks, then obviously things can open up on the downside, and you can see some targets till at least this level. All right, so maybe we will see more sideways action before this stuff actually breaks out. All right, let's look at Nasdaq as well. Let's look at US 100. US Nasdaq, obviously, it's been on a very sharp rally here. So the Nasdaq was actually bullish as soon as this entire base was cleared out, and then it was bullish. You would have looked for longs here uh, around these areas for a bull run. Obviously, you won't get into the entire trade expecting a move like this, but obviously it can happen. Right. So the Nasdaq is obviously good. Again, the level in Nasdaq is here. So the US indices look quite extended as of now. All right. So maybe we wait more for some sort of positional longs in Nifty as well, right? Because if the US indices they start to come down, then Nifty can also pull back, right? If you look at the chart of Nifty now, so let's go to the chart of Nifty now. In the last video, we talked about this base right here. All right, if I remember correctly, I talked about this base and also this base right here, right? So now obviously this base has little to no importance for me because this base has made this new high here. All right. So I'm guessing we were somewhere around this part itself in the last video, right? So now what happened? The same thing that always happens. We pull back to the demand zones of the base. All right. This entire area, the lower part of the base, which has a lot of price action here. So there's a lot of volume here. So if you put on the volume profile, you will see that there are a lot of volume charts here. All right. So we pull back to this. Just a second. Right. So we pull back to this area right here, and we start pushing up from here itself again. So Nifty looks quite good here. All right. Obviously, if you end up buying here, you might get caught in a red candle, something like this, right? So it might happen here as well because this candle here, it can shape up pretty well. Give me 1 second. Right. So this candle right here, it can happen as it has already happened a few times before. So I'll give you some examples. Let's look at this area right here. You broke out and immediately you came back down. So again, you can break out and come back down because this keeps happening here because it is very extended in this part, right? So so here, if you see, obviously the entire world is looking at Nifty when it's trying to break out through the previous all-time high, which was around 18, uh, which was somewhere around 18,900, right? So so the entire world is looking at this supply. Now, what might happen is we might break out here, and then if the breakout fails to stay above this freshly created demand, which will happen only after it breaks out, if it comes down here, then we can start another leg of a deep pullback trapping this entire bunch who's looking for a big breakout on the upside, right? And there's a high probability of this happening. Why? Because we have already traveled very fast from the bottom up, right? We've traveled around 16, 1700 points from the bottom in a matter of 2 months, right? So this can happen, right? There is no reason to assume any safety here, right? You have to be cautious as well. Now, if this can happen, do you want to play it immediately? I would suggest not to do it, because you want to wait for an entire break on the downside. All right, so it can look like this will happen from any level. You could have expected some bearish move here, again some bearish move here, again some bearish move here. So every pullback in real time, it might look like this time it's going to break, but you want to wait for a proper break of this area of demand, right? So you want to wait for the break of this area of demand to let it go on the downside. If it does not, and if it continues on the upside, then you can have fun with buying stocks. All right, but I'm only here to give you levels on the spot. This level is around 18,550. All right, so 18,550 is the level here which you want to focus on, and obviously the previous all-time high is there as well. This candle is the previous all-time high supply. All right, so let's look at Bank Nifty now. What is Bank Nifty doing? Bank Nifty is actually kind of interesting here. So let's look at two candles here in Bank Nifty, right? So what is happening is you look at these two candles, and then you look at the lack of momentum here, and then you look at this massive rejection here, and now it's finding itself difficult, it difficult to go up to this supply. All right, so very interesting price action going on here. There's a huge rejection here, and now it's closing bad as well. So Bank Nifty has tried to go up around this area for a long time. I also talked about this base here, this supply right here, and this base right here. All right. So Bank Nifty, what I expect it to do is I expect some sort of a down move here before we actually start to uh, consolidate for the next move. All right, because Nifty, if you see, Nifty is already extended. Nifty is already at the previous supply as well. So maybe a down move here is a bit healthy for Nifty. All right. And Bank Nifty might lead that down move here as well. Today, it has been weak for a few days because metals are leading. All right. If you missed out on a metal rally, let's look at the metals as well. If you missed out on the metal rally, you can wait for it to test out this base. All right, if it comes down here, then you can maybe get into some metal stocks. The EMA will also join here. So Nifty is going up because of metal, and I think a bit of IT as well. uh, IT is not that much, but there has been some sort of a move from the lows here as well. All right, so this candle also helps in the move of Nifty, basically this day. So so this is my area of demand, 18,550, right? And in Bank Nifty, my area of demand uh is 43,700. All right. So it's this area right here. If this breaks, we can go immediately down to uh something like 43,200 something. All right. So there's not a lot of space downside before the next demand comes in, which is a good thing. All right. But I would expect a pullback here now, right? Now a pullback can happen two ways. It can happen directly. So if it breaks, I would be trading this, or it can happen after after an attempt again, and this can also be a very nice time to enter in Bank Nifty. All right. So this is mostly about it on the current market situation. Let's look at small caps as well. Small caps have been up. They're extended. There's nothing to talk about really. I'll just update you on the demand zone. So the small cap 100 demand zone is around 10,400 here. All right. So 10,400. Nothing really going on here. You just ride the trend till it happens. All right. So this is about it. Focus on sectoral moves. A lot of sectors are doing good. I always focus on the sectors. And if you've stuck around till the last, make sure that you like and comment. All right. It helps with the algorithm. And I'll see you guys again in the next video when something interesting happens in the market. Maybe in 2 or 3 days again. All right. Have a good day.